I started the business in 2011, and up until then I'd always been just a personal weaver. So taking it to the step where we could actually check and see if there is a market for hand wovens, and if it's something that can be done on a production level, and it's really been a lot of market testing. So then to be ready to actually take it into the Kentucky crafted market was scary and crazy, and the response was great. Learned a lot. So that was good. When I was a kid, I was pretty geeky, and so then doing handcraft, to do calculus for fun. Parents would say you should really go out and do something, but I did extra calculus instead. I mean, it was bad. So then doing handcrafts was like the offset to being exceptionally geeky. And I decided I wanted to go into pottery or weaving, and it was easier to ask for a loom than a kiln for my 19th birthday. So that was the start. But it gets pretty addictive. And then now that I am doing shows, when I see all the potters coming in, carrying everything that they have, I'm really, really glad. I think the things that are the biggest elements that I work with are that I do like bold color, but I like faded bold color. So I don't know if that makes sense, with the juxtaposition of something that seems like it's been there for a really long time, which gives it a sense of timelessness going forward also. And so even if I'm working with bold color, I don't want it to date to 2013, 2014. I want it to feel like it's been there since maybe the 1950s, maybe the 1920s, depending on what we're working with, so that it can still feel like it goes into whatever elements we're working with in the future. So that's probably the biggest thing. And stripes. I love stripes. So stripes and kind of that faded bold color way is what I like to work with the most.
Okay.
I'm very specific about the materials that I use because there's a lot of different quality levels. And so to make sure that I know exactly what's going to happen in the end product, I get them from Sweden because their quality standards are very, very high. They use longer staple fibers, and then they're spun really tightly, so I know they're more durable. But also their dyes are very, very stable, and they're held up to a higher environmental standard. So I don't have to worry about like black and white next to each other. They're not going to fade. They're going to last longer. They're not going to bleed into each other. And I know that compared to dyes that can be used in other countries, they were environmentally more friendly to begin with. Being in the weaving community, everyone starts sharing their secrets and stuff. It's a pretty open community. And so you talk about like which ones are actually going to affect the longevity of a project, because it takes a while to create a piece and then to use it, because it might be 10, 20 years down the road and it's still in use. How do different yarns compare to each other?
Yeah.
I'm starting to think so. And for a while it's like, for one, you have to learn, and the marketing side, just the how you relate to customers and how you communicate what it is that you do is a huge learning curve. It's easier to just do it, but that doesn't tell anybody about it and give the opportunity there. But then also just product testing and then market testing and talking to people. It's finally starting to really come together, and the opportunity that I'm seeing is that we have this amazing technology for creating fabric. I mean, if you look around and look at the fabrics that we use, 3 or 4 times finer than the human hair. We can spin yarn that fine, and then we can weave it. And I'm not doing that here. And then we can weave it into these incredible patterns and these, water repellent fabrics. We do so much, and that's because of the technology we've developed. What we've lost in that is being able to do something more personal. So if you want to do custom fabric, you're looking at a minimum of about 1,000 yards, because it's a lot of setup for a machine. And so to get a mill, the mills are so large, to get a mill to create fabric for you, it's a huge investment. So that's where I see the hand-woven market can come back in. And I'm hoping that there will be a lot more. But we can create smaller batches. And so to be able to work with the designer, be able to work with the clients and create something that's specific for their home is an opportunity that's not out there right now. and it's been great. The feedback's been great. Right, so I don't create a lot of small things that I can wholesale easily, and so I was kind of wondering, how would I fit in? Do I need to find a wholesale item to be able to take to the market and to be able to work with Kentucky Crafted, or can I find this, use this best avenue of working directly with designers and directly with clients, and is Kentucky Crafted still a value for me? And it's very much been. It's very much been. So the way that, I don't know, all the members, all the people representing Kentucky Crafted kind of step up and like, oh, well then you could do this, and I know this person. The marketing and the networking has been really, really great. Well, I think that's the thing that I appreciate the most, is that the effort to help meet those of us who don't fit into the more traditional mold that Kentucky Crafted has represented. And I know that there's a number of us, and to say, okay, well, what about this? What can we do here to support you in this way? Rather than saying, you need wholesale items, you need gift market items. I felt support rather than an encouragement, rather than any pressure to become something that's not the best representation. Well, it's kind of a dance, and doing something that could actually be a business, and that there's a market for, and how to communicate to the market, how to create the market, how to get ourselves out there. And Kentucky Crafted, you guys have been part of that dance for me to help find that. And it is, it's always this constant adjustment, rather than it being either for the market or for exactly what we want to do. There's this place in between that I think there's a sweet spot in finding it.